baldness as basic sign to neurological diseases. Though baldness or alopecia at whatever development's degree is not classified as serious possible disease, and limited only which class of poor regulate reproductive dysfunction from capillary item, without more apparent relative potential damage that to oneself's ego, with respect to the considerable best personal presence, that because our imposed culture it is greatly appreciate the best way it reproduce and carry as more normal social rule, causing usually in subjects great concern to get suffer, and started noticing with the hair shortage alarm and disappointment, because to date there is no legitimate preventing or remedy for it, and to recover are still retaining that usually considered valuable hair, to the satisfaction and pride that to carry this article provides. Huge, amazing, and nothing pleasant surprise will be for the world to know that baldness not only as far it is considered as important, for although everybody ignore the real consequences, however well justified intuitively is all human for this to get suffer, because baldness manifestation is unsuspected basic sign for incubation of other related neurological dysfunctions, in some conscious associated upper sense and entire body self, which therefore may be partial or whole disease related to possible practical disability, by explicitly to point and well successfully define, because that dysfunction on explicit reproduction and ejecting of the hair product, although not it seems enough, is very important and absolutely necessary for the being's internal best integral organic and conscious function, because this article is really a lower residual product, which because our negative imposed culture of ignored usual dominant carnivorous consumption, is of equal considerable negative quality and much carcinogenic, in the reason that particular whole body and organic systems, for each specific function logically they have to produce a lower residue, such as hair and brain, responsible for principally to generate a most superior essential ideological product for own aware needs and being's other senses, as of course to provide and maintain the best harmonious lower organic integral function, which in some relative way it is also affected by cerebral dysfunction, as in this specific case, because for no longer more the immune system to be able to eject such waste as is so necessary, this one remains in its nothing convenient permanent radical lag, for at its worst evolution logically to cause an inevitable transmission contagion on other neuronal system, and of course same gradual deterioration of capillary routing, thus justifying the dysfunctional expulsion and no longer backed support base, to cause hair fall also outside thereof, in unavoidable gradual perimeter expansion of the scalp surface, because aren't known the deeper causes, nor forms and means, for if not to it remedy, for at least stop the fall, as even the worst internal evolution and expansive contagious sickly advance, noticed and only verified with consequent effective gradual reduction, and even sickly final total dysfunction of any superior sense, usually started with the usual frequent forgetfulness or memories lack and loss, and so possible to lower the internal organic effect and in whole or partial inability, responsible for driving practical attitude and more unfortunate disability, than in higher neurological and mental character already known are the various serious diseases, such as more may be Alzheimer's, Parkinson, etc., are also sclerosis in its multiple forms of sickly expression, and all known that exist in adults and in numerous suffered in current children of unconscious way hereditarily victimized, of which the most renowned science is unable to cure, because aside from to not know the basic and general causes, and its knowledge as medical production, also residual negative, to be a serious mistake of involuntary contribution to worse evolution on all above disease, and origin of another most infamous new. They do not know the real means and legitimate natural healing's form, the which however as well as prevention is possible, and this author has been able to conceive, with the harmless natural therapy in himself experienced, and still in verifications process an intended remedy for this same capillary relative deficiency, suffered by his personnel congenital inheritance, although however in much corrected at later consequence to paternal, and not before fully debugged nor particularly attempted care, knowing that by his long well-adopted positive cultural survival application, even so very sure him was exempt and not suffer such possible worst sickly consequences, that ordinary people suffer for their ignorance of similarly adopt this explicit survival application, which however, for to stop and remedy baldness know very necessary it is to change immediately to the same strictly positive, but simply to apply in themselves the same natural therapy with their own hands and almost free, to thereby impart to regenerate capillary routing, with amazing surprise verify its satisfactory and surprising effectiveness of gradual hair restoration, that in ordinary people can result better than in author, because due to his long debugging culture, him lacks of carcinogenic excessive residual contamination, with which in more abundance it is produced, and him it resists to excessive consumption although only it be to better prove it, and everybody acquire a new sensation of unknown cleaning awareness and mental clarity to a new life goal. And to about what this author writes a small literal piece, with all the considered by to know on the hair product and baldness, and much more informative knowledge to better cultural application, with from historical root sickly causes, and larger more diverse evolutionary serious multiplication, as other medicines definition, of natural elements and qualitative overall food production, with the obvious intention to better learning service to well-confirmed safe healings form, based on knowledge causes, which will be publicly willing to the author's direct personal request, to a symbolic price, if not that before some editors interested in its world publishing, and even perhaps jealous official science, at last grants him the fair due recognition for this and more much that with contemptible indifference they have ignored, and by to effect its negative interests, shameless to him, have relegated to the ignominy and misery, as unequivocal proof that they really do not care about the humanity's health, but rather their petty interests.